Alrighty, folks. Here we are. We're back in action. Sorry if you were streaming in earlier. We've run into some technical difficulties. We've got so much crap going on. OBS, League of Legends, Google Chrome, really the trifectas of the CPU destroyers. Just absolutely tanking my computer, crashing OBS, and obviously crashing the stream then too. But we're back. I think everything's more stable as it can get. We've got our next game coming up. We're having Jewpies Angels take on Destiny, the two old guard of this league, the only two champions. It's gonna be an excellent game. Definitely our match of the week. Jewpies games are always great. They always put on the show for us, and Destiny just have a way of just like feeding to win, like all the time. It's so good.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting because Jewpies has been incredibly consistent. They haven't dropped the game, have they?
No, they are currently have played 8 games and have 8 wins.
Hot tamales, and they are out here looking to keep up that momentum. And you know, Destiny may not be doing too hot on the ladder, but if there's any team coming in for a swoop at the top dog, I should say, top dog, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Actually, okay. The games played have got me a bit confused here. They're the only ones that have played 8 at this point. Everyone else has played 9.
Yeah, that's right. But to make up for that, they've got 2 games today. So, currently, if you're looking at the scoreboard on screen, you're seeing, what can I say? Youngbloods on top, 10 wins. 10 games, 8 wins, excuse me. But Jewpies, if they win both their games today, will take that top spot. If they win one game today, they'll take that top spot. So, not too pleased about that coming from a couple of young bloods in the chat right here, but you know, what can you do? We've been having chats ourselves, and it's just like they're just a problem, man. Every player in that team is so good and just like so proficient at their role. They just know exactly what they need to be doing at all times. And then if, you know, when they make a slight hiccup, they've got Blade Axa there just to rope them back in and wheel them back up. Like, the team is just so tough and they just react to everything so well. I genuinely, there's such a problem in the league at the moment. I don't know how we stop them. It's been quite the struggle. We've been working on a few things.
Something spicy. The Arc Shard, take it away from him.
Yeah, that's it. And look, genuinely won't be surprised if we see Blade Exa or Challenger for Jade on that one today. I think Blade Exa has been playing it a fair bit, and I think when it comes to like, well, if you're an OG player, I think you used to play way back when we had the Resurrect Summoner spell in the game.
Oh my.
Man, it was removed because it was just too OP, right? It was like one of the only times that people would, you know, actually not take Flash in a game. You would take TP Resurrect. You would go into a team fight, die, resurrect yourself, and TP back to the team fight. And now it's like basically the same situation again, except that Akshan, you don't have to blow summoner spells for it. You just have to blow a champion on it, and Akshan will just come, swing in, and clean up your whole team, and resurrect his. It's really, really good in these 5v5, like, pre-made team tournament type style games.
He's a double-edged sword, though. He is actually quite difficult to play properly or very well. You can definitely feel the difference once you're playing against someone who's new to Akshan, not quite utilizing the swings very well, don't know how to maximize the range that they can get out of it, what order they do their abilities in, how they engage. There's a lot to learn and master on him. He's definitely not as simple as he seems, and if someone picks him up and is just able to run with him, it's just a late game monster, because what's that? Akshan cleans up half your team. Suddenly it's now back to a 4v2, 50 seconds on the clock. He's definitely a late game monster, and I want to see some spice today. I want to see some spice. Hot picks, just absolute nasty ones.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we saw Blade Extra play it once, but it was just one of those games where the rest of your team does so well that you don't really get a chance. I think we saw one resurrection the entire game. It was a bit unfortunate. But if anyone is going to pull out the action, right, it has to be Jewpies. They, all those players just like have such a good understanding of the game that if they'll be the ones to pick up action and actually have success on it, I think. But I don't just want to blow the horn of Jewpies all day, because Destiny is not a team to look past. Obviously, they've had a couple of unlucky games in the last week, but other than Jewpies, they're the only other team to beat Youngbloods. If I blow my own horn for a little bit, these guys, time after time, throughout all the seasons, always just know how to clutch it back. They just have such a fiesta inty play style, but just somehow seem to make it work. I mean, like Ardmona, Asuko, and Guard, DST Guard, have just been like crushing this play style for so long. And look, this year it's caught up to them a little bit. There's had a few games where people are starting to understand how to play around them and just drag them to late game and wait for their death timers after they in, right? But man, you still can't look past them. They're still such a strong, dominant team. It's another team that can win like every lane and just push themselves really far ahead in the late game, which is super strong, especially when, there's no limit cap. We're not playing with 5 challenges against 5 challenges. It's typically like maybe a diamond player, a couple of plat players, and maybe a few gold or silver players as well. It's the level cap's not quite there, so winning lane is like much more common in these tournaments and really can steamroll some of these games as well.
Absolutely. You gotta hand it to NT Sports right now. The pedigree definitely has gone up. You've been playing in it for quite a while now. You could probably agree, I would hope, that the level of the players is just immense. The bar is so much higher to be these top teams now. It's not just a simple, silvers and golds back in like season 1, season 2 with I think we only had one challenger player in the NT that actually participated back then, but the rest were pretty much platinum and under at best.
Yeah.
But here we're seeing lots of genuine platinum players, couple diamonds.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I wonder if that's just a sign of the times. People have just like Asuko, Guard, Ardmona, Blade Exa, myself. These, I think we might be I think Corruption used to play back then. There might be a few more players that I'm forgetting as well, so forgive me for that. But, we were playing in the first tournament that NTEL put on. And, it was crazy back then. None of us were nearly as good as we are now. And whether that's just because we've just grown as players or the game's, gotten a bit easier, all that kind of gear, it makes it, I think because of that, because of all of us leveling up and growing up and ranking up, it is elevating the tournament, and more people are starting to catch their eye, and everyone's just slowly getting better at this game, and we've seen it replicate. We've been playing this tournament for I think 7 or 8 years now, and it's been absolutely huge.
Looking to get Blade Extra into the lobby here. There we go. Come one, come all for the main event. Slowly.
If you guys are just wondering as well, this game was meant to start at 4 o'clock, but we did have prior notice from Jewpies Angels that one of their team mates had finished their game at 4 o'clock. Had finished work at 4 o'clock, and we're going to be on by 4:15. The way that works, we have some rulings so people can't just show up late, is that every 3 minutes you're late after, I think, the first 3 minutes, you lose a ban. And by 4:15, you lose all 5 bans, and then if you're late after that, it's typically an FF. They did make it clear to us earlier this week that this was going to be the case, and I think Destiny have kind of just allowed them to keep their bans and just start the game at 4:15 instead. So we'll see what happens. Blade Exa might just still give no bans and just let them play what they want, and that could really make for a fiesta of a game. But just stick with us, the game will be starting in at least like 6 minutes. It shouldn't be too much longer.
That'd be fun. Maybe that would be something nice to see. Jewpies, getting the confidence out, saying, you know what, you take anything, you ban 5 and go to war on it. And their skill level, they might be able to do it, but then again, Destiny seemed equally confident. They said you can have all 5 regardless. You can keep them. They must be feeling pretty good about this as well.
I've been talking to Ardmona as well. We go back a fair bit, and just trying to get any clues off him, like what's it gonna take to beat Jewpies Angels, and he wouldn't share too much with me, which leads me to believe that he probably does have something up his pocket. So we'll have to see what that is today. If they have no bans, I'm sure we'll see something. The first team
have to come out swinging.
Yeah, that's right.
To come out swinging.
The first team that takes a game of Jewpies Angels is gonna make such a huge difference. As soon as someone finds that first crack in the porcelain, the whole thing's just gonna shatter after that, and everyone else should be able to just watch the VOD and clap after that.
Absolutely, and it's also a test then for Jewpies. If they would lose, can they bounce back equally? I think they'll be fine. I think Youngbloods, a couple losses under the belt, they're still retaining a top 3 position considering the games that haven't been played at this point, So there's a bit of wiggle room here. I don't think they'd be phased too much by a loss in the end.
I don't think so either, and it does work both ways. You're right. Like if they lose and everyone finds that crack in their shell that we can all then just start exploiting, that just means that Jewpies haven't reached their potential yet. They're still making mistakes, and they can still get better too. And it just snowballs from there, and that's how we all get better. And I can't wait for it to happen, honestly.
We always love to see a much more competitive, closer scene. It's no fun when everyone's gutter stomping from the top down. Let's get the NA circle of stock going. First place losing to last place, which loses the second last place. Let's just get some true shenanigans going.
And truthfully, that is the dream. Just where it's like always so close. Someone might just keep losing and losing, but it doesn't make them a bad team. It just means they weren't the best on the day. And we see that all the time with CLG and TSM, as far back as they go. CLG still managed to pulling out wins here and there. It's genuinely insane, and it's truly one of the goals for the league.
Unfortunately, they didn't make playoffs this season there, so they're out for now.
Is that CLG,
I think it
right?
was also, that's CLG not making playoffs. And I think it was it FlyQuest or GG? I can't remember.
I think
that also didn't make it in.
I think it was FlyQuest from my memory. Yeah, I think you're right. It was one of those two. They definitely, yeah, they got last and second last place. But CLG just can't get relegated, bro. Every time they go up against the academy teams, they're just like, oh good man, it's no contest here. They'll be playing in that league forever. I swear.
Yeah, no more relegation means they've paid their dues. They get to stick around, provided they can stay competitive and actually retain their spot on a moral sense. They still need to actually put out.
Yeah,
Much
well,
like
when they're getting the
rest of these
dubs
teams.
from TSM here and there, you know, that definitely counts as competitive, I'm sure. After
They
these
do
guys
have
just
a
had a
really
crazy
decent
season.
lineup.
Yeah,
They have a nice
Broxer,
lineup.
I think, is like. He made a statement the other day saying, like, this is the worst he's ever been at League. He's at, like, his lowest of the low
Yeah.
point, which means he can only go up from here. And I know we've got a few CLG fans in the chat. I got a couple of CLG diehards on my team that have been back there since day one, and we're just waiting for the day where they get to come back. We can start posting the CLG Pepe everywhere once again.
Yeah, I mean, I used to love the 2014 to 2016 TSM. That was my little stint with identifying with the team. You know, the double lift, Biofrost,
Oh, yeah.
once a days.
Hell yeah.
That team had an identity. It was an absolute cluster, but it was fun to follow. You know, Dignitas recently was a nice one to follow before Dardock became toxic again and kicked out of his 70th team.
Oh, it's such a laugh. Yeah, and is it? I think he left to TSM after that, or he left to Team Liquid. I think he went to TSM and then Liquid and then back to TSM, right?
He's been around the traps. He's
yeah, man. It truly he
skilled,
was
but just toxic.
CLG's identity though, wasn't he? It feels like they went downhill after he left.
Yeah, Dignitas had him for a lot of early split, or the first half of the split. It's one whole big split now. It's just the first half of the year. Played really well, winning games when they were like 15,000 gold down at 40 minutes.
Yeah, wow. That is
Really
nuts. Sorry, excuse me. I'm just phased out a bit there. It looks like the game is ready to start.
Yes.
This is our match of the week, ladies and gents. Let me transfer you over. Finally, we're going to get some gaming action. And this is the moment. We're seeing the Aurelia band come out, taking that away from Challenge with Jade as he played that last week and was absolutely dominant. No, they're going to keep the bans, alright. That's a good sign at least. Ardmona allowed them to keep their bans after they were late, and they're definitely going to claim them or spell some trolley stuff out. But I do believe Yorick is a Jimbo Baggins champ, so they're just taking it right away. No one wants a bar of that split pushing monster.
Yes, with Hullbreaker on that Yorick, that was actually pretty nasty. He could definitely hold his side.
Yeah. Who are they? I think that was against Katarina Gentleman last week, right? Where he just solo won the game, just kept split pushing bot while their team was feeding in their base, and slowly and surely that Yorick just scaling up to that huge monster that he is. So outrageous.
I'm very interested to see where this is going. The Aurelia gone. No Aurelia for Challenge of Jade. No spicy stuff in the mid lane. Pantheon ban.
Yeah, interesting.
What do you think of that?
You have to assume that's a scout ban. I think it's a good ban, honestly. I've been talking about this the last couple of weeks, but it's the mathematical shenanigans, man. Unfortunately, mathematical Pantheon was so disgusting that it did just get like nerfed through Prowler's Claw. But before that, man, it was so gross. He would legit just jump on you with Empowered W and just one-shot you. It's so gross. I love it. Check out League Deep, check out Ross Boomstocks. You haven't seen that stuff. It's so good. All that mathematical stuff.
I do love me a bit of the mathematical series. No, Tristana. That was a very typical pick for him from what we've seen previously as well.
We've seen him play the Tristana. Senna, and I think Ash might have been the other
Yes.
champ that he played this year. And one of those is gone. But when I think of Ardmona, I do think about Ardmona and Prodigium playing like Senna and Set in the bot lane. It's definitely a champion that he's comfortable on and that we've seen him scale on as well. The Diana band coming out early. That's a nice one, can be flexed in the mid and jungle. I think Azuko probably going to take that up in the jungle though. It's been super strong in this competition, and we've seen the likes of Kiratine just roll a storm on that champion.
This is really interesting.
Is they going to lock it in? The Aphelios, Thresh?
Or-
And there it is. Alright, you're my bot lane master. I got no knowledge there. Tell me what's going on. What's this
going on
lane?
here? So I did mention earlier, I was, as we were testing out stream, sussing out a few of the players. I've got Ardmona that did take a look at him. They were actually practicing Thresh Aphelios.
Oh, really?
The fact that Jewpies have gone and taken that away that could be a very targeted pick here. So not only did they ban the Triss, they've taken away what they potentially were looking to play. Bit of insider information. I didn't want to say anything till they locked it in, just so I wouldn't.
Yeah, make sure they're not
remain
listening to the
impartial.
stream for sure. Yeah, okay, and it looks like maybe they're gonna go for the. Oh, there's the Ash. Okay, interesting. Yeah, leaving the center down. I guess maybe Drunken Monk, who is a sub for Destiny today, maybe isn't too familiar with those like that carry support style where you're like trying to farm and do all of that starving center shenanigans. How does the
Hasn't
Ash
been feeling
Morgana
too good.
go into the
Ash
Thresh
Morgana.
Aphelios lane? Oh, sorry, excuse me.
You're right. You're right there. I think that it's got a lot of poke, just a ridiculous amount of poke, especially from the onset, from level 1. And Aphelios, he's got no mobility. He hasn't got a lot going on in his kit till level 2. I'm expecting a lot of aggression out of Destiny here.
He
from
does
the
have
get-go.
200 years of game development experience under his belt, though, so that's the shenanigans that I'm looking to see today, to be honest.
You could say time will tell. Oh dear, put me down. Thank you. Okay. So, see the Ivan band coming out. Have we seen Ivan actually be picked and played?
I think actually, I don't think that was an NTE Sports game. I know some of the players have been practicing it. I know we have seen a bit of it on Young Bloods. Maybe Jewpies has been practicing as well. The pick is still really good, by the way. Once you hit level 6, Daisy just runs an absolute truck through your enemy team, knocking up everyone there. So, just not something they wanted to deal with, it seems.
That would be the nice little skirmisher that could help fill out Jewpies' team com right now. Looks like they do have a decent amount of engaged there. Damage on the Aphelios. No chunky boys yet, no big boys. Thresh can be a tank.
And there's your chunky boy, there's your big boy there. Alpha Arcacia gonna bring out the Hecarim. That's a big pick for them. And we get
I like that even better.
That's a chunky boy. That's a boy that's not being chunked. That's a boy that's just gonna shield up all your damage over and over and just run through your team. And I think we're gonna see the signature DST guard pick come out, the Cassiopeia.
I like this. I actually really like this. We got a lot of consistent damage coming out of the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, it's very nice.
They're just constant smack.
Loads of CC.
Jimbo Baggins won't go down here. I think he will very easily be able to contest with a Gwen. I don't think he's sweating if he locks this in.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fine matchup.
I don't think Gwen is quite as strong as she seems, to be honest. I think people are still just struggling to figure out how to play against her, because she just plays like Fiora, but AP, right? She's life-stealing a bunch when she autos you and when she ults you. So, like, are you meant to just build Thornmail, something like that? I think that Tom Kench is just going to deal with it so well. When he takes all that damage, he's just going to absorb it all into his thick grey skin. And should just be able to run Gwen down, hopefully. It'll be interesting to see what summoners William Polio takes. Whether he's going to go for the Teleport Ignite, or if he actually will favour the Flash there.
even if he takes Flash, I don't think Flash will save him. Tom has so much stick, and honestly, he loves to just smash heads with whatever's in front of him, and just basically bankrolls his health bar and rolls the dice every time. And you can't even call it rolling the dice because he ends up winning every time. He's
Yeah,
just
that's
so
it.
strong at the minute. He's the new 200 years of the top lane, and I really.
I
It's
think
gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah, this might even be the last time we see it in the top lane. I believe it is getting nerfed next patch, because it has just been destroying like high elo. No one can deal with it. He just blocks all your damage, and then once you've used all your abilities, he just is gonna walk you down, slow you, hit you with your Q, maybe even gobble you up, walk you back to
So
the middle
much
of the
damage.
lane. It's ridiculous. Thankfully, he does kind of fall off into the late game, which is where Gwen becomes particularly strong as well. So we'll see if they get that far. It is
When
typical of Destiny to, go really late game, but not typical of Jewpies Angels, who have had like some of the fastest games in NTE sports history.
Now, I do want to raise this whilst we got some time here. The Hecarim pick. We haven't talked about it yet. Big Zoomy boy. I actually really like that into the Diana. He's gonna be absolutely mowing it down. It's gonna be helping keep pace in what it looks to be a pretty slow team. It doesn't. I'm not seeing a lot of chase potential.
Yeah,
out of
you're
it.
right. Aside
I like
from
the engage.
Tom, Kench, and Diana, the carries like Cassiopeia and Ash just don't really have the heal for way too much damage. Can't wait for that item to get nerfed. It's like just so overpowered. And once Hecarim gets that and scales up to like maybe level 13, where he's getting like heats
Busted.
resistances, he just won't die. He'll just keep proccing his Q every 1 or 2 seconds, and then just getting that health back from the Divine Thunder each time. It's so disgusting.
It's proper nasty. And so we got a team that wants to skirmish, wants to throw hands for minutes straight, back-to-back deaths in the same fight. And we got another team that wants to turn and burn and nuke everybody on the engage, and that's it. Walk away. Completely different opinions in how they want this game to go down.
We gotta see who's gonna pull it off,
Oh,
This
what-
is
what-
our
who do
game
you
of the
favour?
week. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's two of the titans of NT esports clashing it out. It's really hard to try and pick a favorite from this one. I mean, like, Destiny are just such a wild card sometimes. They can have some of, like, the worst games we've seen from them, and then just pull out some crazy fight and win the entire thing. Like, it's insane how much of a spectrum they can be on, but also Jewpies have just been so consistent this year, and the comp they've built here is really nice as well. It's going to do really good into like the immobile Destiny team, so gonna have to stake my claim onto Jewpies for this one. How about yourself?
I really don't know. I actually like Destiny's team comp better here, in the sense of they've got a lot of catch out of the Ash arrow that's on basically under a minute cooldown with an infinite range. We got the Morgana that's constantly fishing. The Tom Kench, it's still busted. You have to respect that in any team comp, no matter what you're actually running here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's just such a balanced team comp. Maybe a bit too much AP, but overall, I like it. And
we'll have to see
I'm
how
gonna
this
throw
one
it with
plays
Destiny.
out. Yeah, I like that we have a split decision. It can really go either way. Just the game is just starting as we're loading in now. I'm just going to go through the sponsors really quick. Just got to shout out our major sponsors, Paul's Iced Coffee, the Territory Zone, supporting us. They're just having their 60th anniversary this year, which has been a huge support for us, as well as Macca's Darwin, who have been with us for so long now, and have just been providing so much support, whether it's vouchers or helping getting these tournaments running. It's been huge. And also the Northern Territory government, who have stepped in this year and are starting to recognize the power of esports and lending their helping hand here as well. And we can't forget our minor sponsors, just seen on the screen now. These guys have just given so much this year, been helping us like through and through. Cannot be more thankful for these guys. Just getting this game started now. I'll swap you over. This is where the game crashed last time. See how we go.
So far, so good.
We're on.
Now,
We've done it.
Well, just confirm. I'm at 40 seconds. 41. 42.
Oh, perfect,
43.
mate. We are on sync.
I like it.
Alright, just excuse me while I get all my keys going. How do I hide the timeline again?
You can press U for that one. And I
Love
found
you.
a little shout out for anybody that likes their spectator.
Yeah, we like
you
it
can
nice
press
and
the
clean.
Control Shift Z button and you will be able to unlock the zoom and zoom out infinitely. And reactivating will bring you back into the standard
That
zoom.
is
Today I learned.
huge. Today I learned. That is massive, actually. I'm a big fan of that one.
I like it. We need some more of those professional, large-scale team fights. I want to see everything. We want to see everything. Standard start for everybody. 3-point defense.
Yeah,
Standard
everyone's
blue.
kind of going in their 5-point. Looks like Dyna is starting on. Both teams are starting on their blue buff, so we'll probably see both the scuttles go over equally, and maybe some early gank stuff in bot would be preferable. Kind of get the action rolling on this one.
Certainly. I'm expecting just to see everything in the bot lane. Bledexa has little to no mobility. Same with the Thresh. They have to position themselves perfectly here.
Yeah, and again, this is something that I talk about, I feel like, every game. Every time she's played, but the Morgana pick, man, once you're picking up the things like the Thresh, but the Morgana's still open, she's going to be ignoring so much CC from the Thresh, so I'm not even sure how much pick potential they really have.
Look at that. Just like that. One catch half your health bar.
That's it.
Burning pots.
Yeah, very nice trade from Drunken Monk, hitting a perfect Q when Thresh walked up into his minions. I think this is a scaling comp for both teams anyway. If anything, I would say maybe Ardmona has edge in the early game. I don't think Aphelios is that strong.
Guard?
Ooh, a big early gank. Yeah, really good flash. I don't think it might have been needed, but you know, better safe than sorry. Just showing the respect to Alpha Arcadia, who blew the ghost in to try and push her out into the lane and get a free kill there, but not quite happening for them today.
If Lissandra managed to land her CC there, if she did respect that flash, very well could have ended up there. That was a very sweaty clencher. So far,
yeah, pretty slow game. I think this is kind of what we can expect from most of this laning phase too. Everyone is probably just going to take their time. Challenger for Jade, getting ganked by Asuko, but just going to eat away and get some nice poke on Asuko as he passed towards his bottom scuttle. Neither of those got picked up early. Both are kind of trying to favor ganks in the mid lane.
Yeah, I do like the pathing here. As they finish half of their clears, they're kind of meeting in the middle to do their respective ganks. But now we're seeing the 3-minute, the 3.5, 4-minute gank. Potentially, hopefully, from Asuko. Whereas Acacia's just running around in the jungle, trying to find something that's up, finding nothing.
Yeah, not too much happening for them there, unfortunately. Also worth noting that, Really and Polio did go for the teleport ignite here, which is, good to see. I think she is just going to be able to save her ease to dodge anytime Kenshi engage, so I don't think the flash is going to be super important, but we'll have to wait and see. As another gank coming from Alpha Arcadia, but unfortunately his charge just timing out there. He's not quite quick enough to get onto guard there, and challenger for Jade, and Alpha Arcadia is just going to walk off from that one.
Really does seem to be focused in the mid lane, as you mentioned. And that could be the case. All it would take is 2 kills on Challenger for Jade just to absolutely go ballistic. We saw, I think it was Thursday, what you could do with it. Blade.
Oh, Asuko is going in. The Flay not quite catching anyone. Blade X has got this, the stun, but will he activate it? Not quite. It looks like they're going to try and turn on Ardmona here.
First blood?
I think it has to go over to Blade Exa. No. Alpha Arcadia picking that one up, and Blade Exa with the patience. Holding the Q on the gravity orb right at the end, but just not enough damage to capitalize on that one, unfortunately.
Beautiful counter gank. Overextension from Asuko. Unfortunately, you give any man the controller 9 times out of 10. They probably would have gone for that dive as well, but unfortunately, it was the biggest bait we've seen this game yet.
Yeah,
only
that's
many
just
more to
it.
come.
Bear with me just a moment. I have forgotten to update the name overlays on the screen. Still getting used to the shenanigans. So on the red side, we have Jewpies Angels, and on blue team, we have DST. Sorry for that interruption there, folks. I'll get you back on my full screen business.
All right.
And yeah, I might have to go look into some top lane bias here, but Rulian Polio probably has been one of the better top laners in the tournament, if not the best this year. He got a really nice push in early. It's the classic push in the first 3 waves and take a quick back, so you get a nice cheap buy. And he came back with this Dark Seal, so that item is just absolutely busted. It's another one that's getting nerfed next patch. I believe at max stacked, it gives you stats up to like 1500 gold for like however much it is, like 350 or 450 or whatever it is. So that's going to be really strong, and if she can live this lane where she probably isn't really expected to die, she's going to find a lot of value in that buy.
Absolutely. Jewpies picking up Dragon there, pretty stock standard.
Oh, the hook coming in. Drunken Monk a bit late on the Black Shield. The Lantern coming in for Admona too, and he's just going to get chunked down by the turret as well. A really nice play from Dream to Meme, just catching Drunken Monk off guard with that hook. You can't be doing that. As the Morgana, you really need to be stopping those ones. Otherwise, that exact situation will just play out time and time again. Maybe that's a little wake-up call there, and we'll see if they will pick up their game.
The snowball's starting to roll. Things are in motion. I'm pretty sure Fleedex actually took negative damage that fight. He actually healed off the majority of that. That is a lot of gold on that bad boy. Backing with 1500 exactly in his pockets. Oh, he's hitting comfy now.
Yeah, he's going to be real wealthy, and it's not what you want to see. Is that 200 years champ scaling up. That is no good. Remind me again to check gold. That is V.
That's X.
X.
For that one.
I was close. Yeah, there we are. We're seeing, yeah, the most wealthy man in the game right now, as he should be. That's exactly how you like to see your ADC starting to scale up.
And this is the only way that playing Aphelios actually works. He does not work from behind. There's no comeback mechanic there for him. He either needs to be steamrolling his way to a win, or is really just underwhelming. It's really not fun to play. Picking up Shelly.
Yeah,
Not a bad pick.
it's really nice in the early game. Especially while those turret plates are still up. That's a huge objective. You get that one down, and if you can get a few more plates off tower, you'll just get, getting all the plate golds and then the first tower gold as well can just swing the tide of the early game so much for one of those players. And if you're losing lane, it can make it even, if not more gold. Like, turret platings have just been like such a crazy addition. I can't speak too much for the other lanes, but in top lane meta, it's a really long lane to get back to if you don't have teleport, and you can just make so much additional gold off killing your lane and taking 2 or 3 plates. It's huge, and Shelly just helps you do that so much faster as well. You don't even need to be in lane to get that gold. It's really, really good pick up early.
Absolutely. And usually that's being traded. Usually the enemy team is deciding either Dragon or Herald, and you kind of shake hands, you go get your respective big bad boys, and you walk away and everyone's happy. One team has the gold, one's plugging in for the late game. However,
oh, the hook not just quite
I don't believe it really belonged to Destiny here. I think it was a bit of a drop ball from Jewpies to actually let that Herald go.
Oh, the Ash ult coming out. They're just blowing everything onto this Thresh right now. But the 200 years ulti coming out. The heal being dropped from Blade X. The Dream Team Meme's living, and they've actually just traded 1-for-1. Ruli and Polio is teleported down while DST is going down in the mid lane. Oh, Alpha Arcadia with a huge gank and then ulting out into the Raptors camp, but just not living it. It's all happening right now. Oh, good. Alpha Arcadia changing that fight to a 2-for-2 overall on the map.
They're not going to take this lag down. Destiny are definitely making moves to try and bring this back. That's exactly what we want to see. It's going to keep them close, keep them tight as much as they can in terms of this gold.
Yeah, I really like that play too. They, everyone was in the right position, but Blade Xers just still had to heal up, and Thresh had so much shielding there. They just didn't quite have the damage to pull him down, especially with that deficit. And trading 1-for-1 there is pretty good, but they also blew the teleport from Ruli and Polio, which can also be super huge. Drunken Monk getting locked super low there from the gravity gun. Damn, he's just walking away with his life too. Yeah, you better back, boy.
Yeah.
You're not sticking around after that. I think Ardmona's overstayed here as well.
And I'm liking the movements here. It's already 10 minutes, but we're basically ending laning phase. Destiny's making moves.
Yeah, the turret is going down, but Jimbo
Beautiful.
Baggins hitting all the stacks, and Goblin Blade X are up.
Oh no.
Oh, he didn't pop the E in time, got bursted down right at the end. Asuko gonna take down Challenger for Jade in the mid lane, but flashing away from Alpha Arcasia actually. He's gonna get away with his life there. And that is gonna end up in a 2-for-1. A nice trade back for Asuko there.
I really like this. Lots of movement. Destiny have thrown the standard playbook out the window, and they're just going for it. I really like this. It's gonna, as I mentioned before, just keep them in contest for this game. Big ups to Jimbo Baggins. He's fishing.
Yeah, I know before we were just talking about the gold plates, and if you look at the gold diff right now, it's about 4k, and it's all due to the tower plates. Jimbo Baggins has given way too many plates to Ruli and Polio in the top, and as you can see, Blade X has just pulled off the first tower in the bottom lane as well. If we just take a look at that gold, the fight's going in. Asuko's going in. The ult's not quite going to pick Ruli and Polio up, but the Abyssal Voyage will. He's flash Q for the stun. That's going to be just enough damage to take Ruli and Polio down. Even the ignite wasn't enough to get a nice trade there. Really good play from Asuko and Jimbo in the top lane. And they're both going to sneak into the brush to get that back.
Making plays, utilizing that giant forehead on that catfish. Handing it over to Asuko, definitely the right play here. Tom Kench is going to be doing fine no matter how many kills he gets. 0, 10,
he does
he's gonna be
not
doing
need
great.
the items to get ahead there, right? He just needs to just keep leveling up, level up his grey health, and he'll just be unstoppable from there. The gold, yeah, you're right. It's much better on Asuko, where he can just be put in a position to carry that game.
Huge pick me up.
But as we can see, like as you said, the game is kind of, laning phase is already sort of over. Bot lane is just rolled through. GST Guard actually whiffing the ultimate there. No patch for happening, but they're getting the return ultimate traded out. Now that is a black shield, baby. Drunken Monk absolutely blocking the stun ulti
Beautiful
from Lissandra.
timing.
That's what you love to see from your Morgana. It's just, that black shield can have so much value. Blade Exer might be caught out here. Jimbo Baggins actually catching the hook. He ate Blade Exer, but it wasn't enough, wouldn't have to do much damage down to the 200 years old. It's going to burst down Ardmona as well. Alpha Arcasia making it happen in the mid lane, but they've kind of turned around. Asuko's made it to the top lane. Can they? Looks like the mid lane and jungler are roaming up.
Cavalry's incoming. They don't.
And he hits the hook. He's followed the hook in and taken the flay too. He just missed it. Flash forward is going to secure the kill there. Asuko needs to burst them down. Not enough gold. Not enough health to live that one there. So much gold going over to Jewpies in that game. And this is just what we've seen from them time and time again. Just getting so many leads in the early game that just snowballs out of control. So much good macro play around the map and roaming to assist. It's actually been just so instrumental in their success this year.
What a great game. This is exactly what we wanted to see. An absolute bloodbath. Give us more. This is exactly what we want to see out of League of Legends. This is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, once again, this is like, two of the titans of, the NTEL scene. These guys have been playing for so long and know each other so well. It's great to see these guys getting back on the rift, taking their rivalry to the next step here. It looks like Jewpies are sneaking away with the lead in this early game, which, they're super well known for snowballing out of control there. we'll have to see how Destiny are going to respond to this.
Absolutely. And back to the scheduled programming. Thank you to the director Cam. As it was pointing out there at the very end of that fight, Leopolio, he was just getting some solo time, smashing up that bottom tower. He knows he's not too useful against his Tahm Kench, so don't try and fight it. And he's just going to take towers on the other side, and it's just stretching Destiny thinner.
Yeah, and that's just what Gwen's so good at, right? She really just plays like an AP Fiora. She has so much mobility, she just wants to auto you and constantly proc her Qs on you, and she's been doing really well. She's going to go down and match that Cassiopeia in the bot lane, pick up some farm, and imagine she'll probably just walk away. If you just pull up the gold here, very scary stats in the bot lane. Blade XR is about 3.5k up on Ardmona here, which is not what you want to see from that Aphelios. He is really going to be blowing up these teams as soon as the team fights start. It's a super big threat. Out of all the people you don't want fed on Jewpies Angels, yeah, he's going to be the one.
Yes, the Demon King himself. When he comes back, he's going to be picking up a nasty little item that will definitely be executing people under 5% health, and that is only going to really escalate the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't look past Alpha Arcasia here, who've also been having a really good game. Or a little engage maybe happening on William Polio, but he's not going to get slowed due to that harrowing mist that Gwen can pull out. Just block any damage stuns outside of that box. Nicely played from William Polio, and not going to get caught there. He's going to pick up this farm, and that bot lane should go stale just in time for this dragon to come up. We should see our first proper team fight of the match here. Blade X are just barely dodging that one by the bloody skin of his head. Jeez.
Absolutely. This is definitely a dragon that they do not want to concede. Dragon point after this if Jewpies do get it.
Yeah, Jimbo's looking for the Abyssal Voyage. Well, I don't think they can fight this. Jewpies have everything up here. That 200 years ultimate is such a strong ability for these team fights. It's not something you want to take, and unfortunately, we're not going to see the team fight that we were looking for. Jewpies is just going to pick up that Drake, putting them on soul point at 17 minutes. Asuko just being absolutely dominated by Alpha Arcasia, who I do want to bring up. Is,
Yes.
Oh, he's actually making the ulti in here on DST guard. She got the ultimate off, but it wasn't enough. She's going to go down for her trouble. She just quite hasn't scaled up to be that big threat she needs to be yet, only with her mythic item picked up. Challenger for Jade's looking here as well. They do have the numbers advantage, but I'm not quite sure Destiny know.
Oh dear. It's just starting to fall apart at the seams, isn't it? Key abilities for players are starting to miss there. Little bit of mismanagement of the damage trading in the mid lane, I should say, between the ADCs.
Yeah.
Mona going back to lick his wounds.
But it always just seems to go this way in the Jewpies games, man. Like, I'm gonna really start sounding like a broken record, but what do you do, man? They just win every lane. Alpha Arcasia gets so many leads. He makes so much happen for his team. He's currently sitting at 7-1. He's got his Divine Sunderer. A huge Astra ulti coming out here, actually, stunning the team. Challenger for Jade's gone in. The Abyssal Voyage not gonna find anyone in the Zonias. There's a TP coming in on Shelly. It's all going down. I can't keep up with what's going on. All the ultimates are being blown, but it looks like the game is going in Jewpies' favor there. They've traded 2 for 1, but they still have so much health left. They're going to get this tower. Oh, Blade X has actually been caught. She's got to go down to the Cassiopeia burns.
You asked me how you turn it around. This is it. You persist. You strive.
Oh, and they've actually traded back, and you chased too far. The Lysandra and the Gwen just shredding it up there. What can you do, man?
Second point, which I wanted to raise as well, which is patience and consistency, which is what something Jewpies need to excel at. And something we're seeing here from Destiny is, even though they're being aggressive, it almost seems desperate. Even when they were in the earlier parts of the game, it's feverish watching them play. They seem to really be forcing things that maybe don't need to be forced, but comms could be different, and
Yeah,
Maybe this
absolutely.
is their style.
I mean, they were so close, but Challenge for Jade's ultimate is just like, I'm pretty sure he used it right at the start of the fight, and it was back on cooldown by the time they were chasing them away. Maybe just not being able to track those ultimates just wasn't enough to keep them alive for this one.
Absolutely.
But other than that, it was a really nice
Oh.
play. Drunken Monk hit a huge Q on Blade Exa, who just gave away a huge shutdown to guard as well. So, if there was ever a time to bring it back, it is now. The gold diff is coming up to 9k in favor of Jewpies Angels. Man, like, I just don't know, like, what you do from here. How did Destiny try and bring this game back?
You need to. What they're doing really well here is they're actually pushing out the vision where it matters most. If you press F1, you can actually see they've pushed vision right through to Baron. They're clearing this.
And it looks like Jewpies is going to get caught. The arrow going short as well, but they're going to dive over and pick up Challenger for Jade. They're going to trade 1 for 1 there, but I think Jewpies, Challenger for Jade definitely got the value there. Picking up way more ultimates and gold. It's going to be crucial by the time this team fight comes around. If they try to engage on this, I think they will die. Dream to Beam found a nice Q, and Alpha Arcadia found a nice ult. The 200 years ultimate going wide. Aphelios not quite doing it, but a Dream to Meme is going to pick up Asuko there. And I think they can just peel back off to the Baron.
Wanted to catch. Indeed.
Yeah, Challenger for Jade has his TP up, and he's coming up in 5 seconds. I think they just get this Baron for free here.
Most certainly. They're playing it pretty safely. They're baiting out these engages using these absolute units of monsters. And Destiny could be overextending here.
Yeah,
they're trying to run.
Oh, challenge for Jade, dashing over the wall. Jimbo Baggins saving guard with the eat, but it's not going to be enough. I think Jimbo just traded his life for guards. It's not going to be enough. And with the Baron in hand, that's definitely going to be an inhib here. The ultimate coming out. They did catch Challenger for Jade, and Asuko has gone in and picked that one up, but he's just going to trade 1 for 1 again. They can't keep doing this, or they are going to lose the fight. DST guard found 1 Petrify, but it's still not going to be enough. They're currently in a 2v4. It's just, there's nothing you can do here. Alpha Arcades has just picked up the soul. Everyone else has picked up the inhib in mid lane. Jimbo Baggins up in 6 seconds, but I think maybe the game just ends here.
I think we could be seeing the victory screen very shortly. Jimbo Baggins is going to make a last-ditch effort.
Yeah, Brilliant Polo kind of stepping forward for the lantern, but not quite finding it when it expires there. But it's just going to walk away. Yeah, that could have been disastrous for Jewpies, but they're just going to walk away with their lives there. They've got the Infernal Soul now. 23 minutes, it kind of feels like Jewpies have done it all already. What would typically take, 30 or 40 minutes for another team to do, Jewpies have done in just under 25, so.
Oh dear.
You hate to see that. Drunken Monk face checking the brush. And the 200 years ulti coming out. Blade Exa hitting the gravity orb Q, snaring everyone. Admona's putting out as much damage as he can, but maybe focusing the wrong target there.
Unfortunately.
You're just not doing any damage to the Hecarim there, and I think that's just going to be the end of the game. Dream to Meme stepping up. He's going to tank the tower while his team tries to do it. He might die. Not the heal coming out from Blade Exa. Yeah, very well tanked, and that is going to be the end of the game. The death time is too long. Everyone else waiting out in base. Challenger for Jade's gone for the dive, but his team's just let him die. They didn't end the game in time. And that's going to be another win for Jewpies Angels.
Another clinic.
Absolutely another clinic. Like, it can't be said more, but Destiny are like the old guard of NT Esports. They've just, dominated for years in years. But since this Jewpies Angels team has stepped up and they've got some really strong players now, they are truly unstoppable, and not even Destiny have a way to deal with them, it seems.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to anytime soon. There are lots of gaps in just mistakes. You don't have enough fingers and toes to really just pick out points where things just went astray and just escalated and escalated. They did a great job of actually staying in there for so long, doubling down on the play style and like securing a few kills, getting some gold in the bank. Asuka almost brought it back. He made big plays there. Jimbo Baggins not to be overlooked either. Definitely, they
For
were
sure.
fishing from the 10-minute mark. We saw it. Lane phase was pretty much over. They were searching for where they realized it wasn't going their way. They needed to do something. And they made a solid effort to get it going.
And it's just so tricky from there too. Like, you know, Jewpies are just too strong, man. Like, they just won every lane, even when, Asuko was getting these ganks off and the other things, it was all happening on the other side of the map. Destiny were getting one for every Jewpies too. It's just, it's the right play to try and make the macros around the map. If you're losing something bot, you get something top. If you're losing something mid, you go to one of the side lanes and, try and get a tower off there. It's all about playing around the map, but even when you're doing that, Jewpies are just finding more gold than you're trading off, and that's just snowballing out of control. As you could see, at 10 minutes it was a 4k gold lead from just like gold tower diffs, the turret plating diffs. It's really tough game there for Destiny, but there's glimpses of hope. There's people are going down in lane. Maybe challenger for Jade not having his best game there. It really tough one. Let's talk about MVP though. If we're looking on the side of Jewpies Angels, I'm thinking we've probably got the same idea. I'm going to flick over to the damage graph. I think we've probably got the same idea of how that game went.
Yeah. I mean, a part of me really wants to give serious consideration to Alpha Acacia.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because his early rotation there, I know you like to pick up after 10 minutes and see who's making the big plays there, especially considering ADCs pick up majority of their kills in a funneling environment. But Alpha Acacia made so many well-timed ganks, secured every dragon. Even though it's going to be going to Blade X because he played his absolute heart out. He played mental. It was insane. He carved up the team.
And a lot of that came from a dream to meme there too. Hitting some like really crucial thresh hooks that Drunken Monk just wasn't ready for. But it's a shame when that happens with supports because you make those first few plays, which is so good. But then ADC will just snowball after that and snatch away this MVP. I think this one does have to go over to Blade X.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If we're talking about
big shout outs.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Alpha Arcadia is definitely a close second there, making everything happen on the other side of the map, even getting a few more ganks in bot lane to help snowball that. But you just, once again, let me just go back. You can't look past this damage here. 24k, 10k more than the next highest damage, which was the Cassiopeia on the enemy team.
Absolutely.
If we're looking at SVP, the second most valuable player, coming on the side of Destiny, what do you think's happening there?
I am in the middle between Jimbo Baggins and Asuko. Jimbo Baggins was the rock that kind of held this together somewhat. The super glue, the gorilla grip, trying to keep it together there. Asuko has a lot of kills and a lot of assists here, like participation wise. I'm stuck between the two. I think it does go to Asuko because he went absolutely deep and won on a few of those fights that nearly got them back in the game, but it did slip away.
You're right.
I think Asuko.
I think we are riding the same wave here. I was about to say the same thing, Looking at the stats we just saw, Jimbo only doing like 8k damage. Maybe his KD8 isn't the best. He's made the second least gold in his team, but, he was doing so much there. He was trying to hit some, trying to hit those really important knockups and tanking so much damage. Yeah, he definitely deserves a shout out. But I think it goes to Asuko. His macro was pretty insane this game. Like we said, he was when things are happening bot lane while Bladex was getting ahead. Asuko was doing everything he can to try and get the trade on the other side of the map, and you know he did that to the best of his ability, but just wasn't enough today. But definitely
It is interesting to note that Asuko actually took more damage than Tahm Kench overall this game.
Yeah, interesting.
Just go to show how deep he was in these fights, constantly searching for the win.
Yeah, some huge shielding happening there from Asuko as well. So I guess, you know, he does get that tankiness that he needs as well. I also want to shout out DST Guard, who, you know, his KDA might not be showing, you know, the best either, but he, you know, topped the damage on his chart with, you know, just about 14k, I think it was. It was, you know, yeah, 14k. You know, some of that stuff really just goes unnoticed. A lot of that comes down to the line injuries and obviously the natural poison damage that she deals, but yeah, definitely good shout out to him. But I think that MVP will go to Asuko.
Absolutely. God does deserve an honorable mention that he was held down quite forcefully and metaphorically there in the mid lane so much by Alpha Acacia and Jade. The constant tower dives. He really didn't have any room to grow at all, and the game may have been different if he had a bit more wiggle room to actually get a bit more gold under his belt.
Yeah, for sure. We're about to get started into our next game here. Jewpies are playing back-to-back today. They have got Job Seekers Alliance next. These two have like the exact same name, and it's been tripping me up all season. Yeah, they're taking Job Seekers Alliance. It should be another good match. You know, Job Seekers are another team that have been around for a while. These teams know each other pretty well. We've seen many Chris Strider, Blade Xer face-offs in the mid lane, but today it will be challenged for Jade like we saw last game, so that'll be something to keep an eye out for. We're going to start this game any second. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. Either 5 or 7. Okay, so probably 6 then. Alright. Thanks for waiting there, guys. We're just having a quick little break. These teams are just getting organized, waiting for everyone to get in. Everyone's just about ready for this match. Game's going to start any second. This should be another interesting one. Early predictions, I think it's probably going to be another Jewpies win. Job Seekers, you know, I'm really supportive of this team, but I've also been super critical of them this year. They're someone that we expect to be like a top 3, top 4 team, and they've really fallen behind in the scheme of things this year. You can see them on the scoreboard. They're in 3rd place now, but there are games that they have, you know, you can see they have more losses and more games played than other teams like Destiny, like Corona Spaceship. This game, you know, probably is going to keep them on that spot, but I think, you know, as we saw, by the time week 7, they were falling towards like the 5th or 6th spot, and we know we can see them much higher than that. They should be in the like 3rd, 4th spot.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting. Jewpies Angels have come off an absolute ripper of a game. They're feeling good. Morale's high. They're gassed up. They're feeling themselves. They're doing damage. Now, the time is to see how do you deal with that momentum, because there's a lot and you can't ignore it.
Absolutely. And it's these guys have just gone on to 9 wins, 0 losses. This will be their 10th win after they played this game, which is just like absolutely huge, if they win this game, I should say. On the reverse side of things, obviously, they did just get a great win against another top team, but Job Seekers Alliance did just get to watch this last game. We have to assume that's probably most of the guys that are viewing in right now are probably on the side of Job Seekers Alliance. We can see Chris Strider's been in the chat there as well. So if there was ever a time, it's this analytical Chris Strider needs to find the holes in the side of Jewpies Angels here and be able to clap back.
Yes, I do know Chris Strider. He's got a strong mental. He's got the capacity to get it done. He's got an articulate mind.
Yeah,
I'm sure you can find a gap.
Some very
They're
interesting.
the man to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some very interesting bands coming out here now as well. We're seeing the Rexar come out for Sergeant Crone. This has been another really typical one that gets banned out. Typically with the Diana or Nectum for Chris Strider, but Sergeant Crone had something like 200 or 350 games on that Rexar. No one wants to let him play it. No one likes to play against that champ. Jewpies have got the first pick here, and they're hovering the action. This is the stuff that we like to see, and it's locked in. Let's go, dude. Hopefully this is the game we get to see these guys, switch it up. There's actually some role swaps happening on the team. We can see the bot lane is staying the same, but Ruli and Polio is going to be playing mid lane. Alpha Arcasia is going to be playing top lane, and Challenger for Jade slipping into the jungle there. Actually, such a good first pick there too, because he can play like so many different roles. You can definitely put him in the top lane. He's got so much roaming power as well. Just as good to put him in the mid lane, and we've seen him in the ADC role too. So, we're gonna see how they utilize that. Obviously, Jewpies have, this is something that we predicted in their last game, and they've done it again, but they've opted to leave the Diana up. This was when Blade Exa was playing mid, and we thought that, maybe Blade Exa just thought he could beat the Diana, and Chris Strider is just taking that champ again. This time it's going to be against Ruli and Polio in the mid, so maybe he has the counter pick for this one this time. He's going to be the one to take on Chris Strider's, champion that he rode to Challenger, so we'll have to see how that plays out too.
It's quite interesting that they have not picked the counter, potentially, for the Diana, if it is indeed as dangerous as you say it is, because now as they have time to actually throw out the bans.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep the Diana safe. If the Akshan is going either top or ADC, as we're speculating, but we're not going to know until they lock in 5th.
It's going to be interesting. I think, it's always the threat that they could do like the bait and switch and, put the Diana in the jungle, but, after locking that earlier, it's pretty safe that, Chris Strider will be picking up his main. And you're right, they probably will just ban out some stuff that he does not want to play against here. But the Irelia, definitely one of them. Champion is so strong at the moment, has been tearing it up in the mid lane. And we have seen, I'm not sure if we've seen it, but I've definitely played that lane against Ruli and Polio before, and it's not fun. He's pretty good at that champion, so a nice pick to remove that one.
That was going to be one of my questions, if we've seen that before.
Yeah, definitely. He is pretty strong with that champ. Also the Silas as well. I think I might have played that against him one time. And, I don't think Silas is the strongest champ. I think people have kind of figured that guy out. You just have to stop his snowball early. And, you can kind of just beat him in the late game. Granted, you don't give him any, super strong ultimates. But I'm not too sure how he does into Diana. And Jewpies Angels are just capitalizing on the support bands, taking away the Morgana and the Nautilus. So that Braum is going to be really effective here. If they're going to go for something, aggressive, it might have to be something like the Blitzcrank, which seems like something they're scared of. Be interesting to see what Shortmaster decides to pick up for this lane.
Oh, you got a lock.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Okay, that's not bad, yeah. If you're going for the aggressive support, that's a good one. I don't think that was an auto-select. Obviously, when we play tournament draft, if you don't pick, the game doesn't end. It will just random pick you as champion. But they were looking for a support, and I think Leona is a good one there. I think she can have really good synergy with the Jin too. Do you have any thoughts there?
I like it. I am not sure how it's going to play into the Braum. I feel like the Braum just... Leona gets her CC off first, naturally. That's how the matchup goes. But then the Braum's all about just running her down.
Yeah, she just gets to, cancel all that Leona CC, just block everything for what I have to assume is going to be this Action ADC for Blade Exa.
Oh, I'm thinking Mordekai's at top. Graves will stay jungle. We'll see Lee Sin in the mid lane.
I think we might see Lee Sin top lane, actually. I think
so?
Yeah, I think this Mordekaiser might go against the Diana. It could be super strong, when Chris Stride is looking for that all-in, get that huge 5-man ultimate.
Wow.
Really Poly just gonna point his big stick out. Yeah, it looks like maybe it is going over for Alpha Acacia there. Yeah, a nice pickup. Maybe the Graves mid?
Oh, wow. This is another strong pick. He actually does quite well.
But that drafting, just goes over. Props again to Jewpies Angels. The last 3 champions picks that could have gone anywhere.
Everything flexed.
Yeah, I got all my predictions wrong there. So it'll be interesting to see. I think Mordekai's into Set actually isn't the greatest matchup for Jewpies. I think Set has so much inherent tankiness that you kind of need to bait out Set W to have a chance of killing him here. Mordekaiser does output a lot of damage, but Set, once you get that Death Realm, Set, as you're about to kill him, is just going to press W, chunk you for a huge hit, and then walk away as Death Realm ends. So
you are a fan of mathematically correct set does exist, and I actually really like it.
It is so
this
OP.
Team comp overall, they've got a lot of dive brawly champions, and that's exactly where Set loves to be. I thought we may have seen another Tahm Kench, not this time, but I equally enjoy the Set pick. Realistically here, I think that JSA have a perfectly reasonable chance to actually win this game.
Yeah, I agree. As far as the team comps go, Job Seekers Alliance team comp, I would have to say it looks better. The Graves mid, is just something else entirely. But you never know, Jewpies, they could have they're riding it so high right now. They've just picked some champs that they want to play. We've seen them do that, I guess, with the role swaps. Everyone wants to give something else a crack. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out for sure. I want to keep a keen eye on that top lane with my top lane bias. I'm sure you'll be looking towards this bot lane and checking out this action, doing all sorts of shenanigans.
Absolutely. I think, I've already spoken about JSA, but take a look at Jewpies here. They've actually got a lot of room for expression here. The Akshan is actually insanely mechanical. I brought this up earlier. You can use your grappling hook whilst you're using your ultimate to really position yourself and find the angles you need. You can trigger it early. Giving it to someone we're going to call this the Blade Exa Gas Up show, but he's a pretty gifted player, and if anyone's going to pop off on it, he's probably going to show us how.
Yeah, I totally agree. Just while we have a minute to go, we're just going to throw it over to our sponsors. Let's take a look at our major sponsors here. We've got to go right back to Paul's Iced Coffee, celebrating their 60th anniversary. The NT government stepping in, recognizing NT esports value and trying to, help us get established here in the NT. And McDonald's Darwin, who is one of our day one supporters, always looking out for us. We'll also throw it over to our minor sponsors. all these beautiful guys that you see on the screen right now have just been like so critical in getting the seasons underway, giving so many benefits to players and so much, discounts and, support to the competition. Eternally grateful for these guys. I also just want to give a big shout out to one of the events that's happening tonight. Right after this one, there is the GG Press Start event. That's happening at the Tracy Village Club. We're going to be going down there. It's going to be a few tournaments. David Moore is getting everyone to download Wild Rift. We're going to go have a huge tournament and play some games there, and we can all have a laugh with each other, all in person. And I think there's going to be some giveaways. Rumor has it, Mr. Moore is putting on a bar tab. We'll play some games. You can come get drilled by me in Smash. It should be an excellent night. So come down to Tracy Village right after this game. We will have a great night.
I'm jealous. I'm sitting here.
Yeah, I'll send you some
in the
Snapchats,
office.
mate.
Yeah, thank you very much. I've been here, all week. Was getting ready to go to a bar this weekend, have a good time, and now we're locked down.
Yeah, it's no fun, mate. Hate to see it. I heard maybe some crazy close contacts this time around. Dictator Dan at it again. Hate to bring the politics into it.
We're in it for the long haul.
He's a good bloke. He's done what he can. Yeah, I'm praying. I've got tickets for PAX in October, so better get your act together. I tell you what.
Hey, you can kiss that goodbye. I don't think we're gonna get it together by October, dude.
Not yet. Well,
we're looking at 23 right now.
Yeah,
23.
We'll see you next year, maybe the year after. We're just loading into the game here. I'll get you guys over here any second. Just gonna spare you from my 45 FPS. As the game loads in, I will swap you over. Alright, timer has started for me. I'm at 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're on it, mate. Alright. So, let's have a look. Hide that one. We bring up the shop with O. There we go. Alright. And we're seeing Jewpies run it straight down to Tribrush here in the bot lane. We might see some early shenanigans. I don't think Jobseekers want a bar of it. They're going to stay out of range of the Leona there. They're not going to get caught. But maybe they didn't see her either. The Brawl Q going out, but it's not catching anyone. No early first bloods for this one. Challenge for Jade. Just going to throw out that Q. Yeah, very nice. Instead, it looks like Sergeant Crone's got the right idea. He's just gone through and got a nice ward on the enemy blue buff. Graves is heading over there at the moment. He needs to be careful. He's going to jump a ward in that bush, but...
he smells it.
Yeah, he's totally baiting it out. He's not dropping the ward. He's like faking the ward. Here it comes, any second surely. These guys can't see him either. This wall right here is just like completely stopping any chance of them seeing them. That's so unfortunate. I think maybe they were expecting him to walk around here, but it wasn't happening. They're actually just going to sneak around for the invade.
That's what he was waiting for.
Yeah,
he was just spotting.
Yeah, much more value there too. They have no vision of the enemy buffs, so it's going to take Challenge for Jade a second to realize that one's missing. So maybe we'll see an early level 2 gank top lane to make up for it, considering he's going to be having that less farm. He's actually going straight there. Sergeant Crone has greeted for the Grump too. I think he's trying to do both buffs.
Yes.
If I can just switch us over here. Yeah, so she's staking the blue buff. She's throwing out the smite. Uh-oh. Lee Sin's just realized it's gone wide. He's missing pings. But I think Sergeant Crow's going to get away with it. Yeah. Alpha Arcadia can't come. Challenge for Jade's come around. They've just walked into each other. Just totally headbutted each other. And Sergeant Crone's going to pay with his up. Oh, she's flashing the wall. Challenge for Jade failed to flash. Huge for Sergeant Crone. Really nice flash. Well played there. All the team rotated there, but they got nothing for it. That's really nicely done by Sergeant Crone. And that's put Challenge for Jade so far behind here. A really good start for job seekers.
Talking about cracks appearing in the armor, the kinks starting to show maybe potentially.
Yeah,
We'll
maybe
have
they
to
got
see.
a bit too cocky with the roll swap, you know? Maybe that isn't something that Alpha Arcasia lets happen there, but here we are.
Yeah. I don't even know where to look. There's just so much going on. We got an invade now from Challenger for Jade. He's just been invaded himself. I don't think he found anything there.
I think he might have... Did he find the red buff? Yeah, he just got the enemy red buff
Excuse me,
traded
I'm
back.
blind.
But he's still only level 2. He's super far behind, obviously. He didn't farm any of his side camps. So, you know, Sergeant Crone definitely going to pick up the CS advantage. Challenger for Jade kind of needs to make something happen in one of these lanes, but not really in the position for that opportunity there either. Sergeant Crone actually just been spotted out by a ward on low HP. Yeah, he's going to take that back. Definitely not going to risk being roamed on by that Braum, who will kill her with probably a cute auto.
I think, yeah, things...
Yeah, Challenger for Jade going for the gank now too. Nooblis looking for the fight against this Mordekaiser. He's building it up. Oh, and a huge W is going to clock Alpha Arcasia there. And that's just the inherent tankiness we see from this set. We've seen him start the Doran shield. So even like any of that small poke that, you know, Alpha Arcasia's going to get, he's just going to heal right back, which is really struggle considering Mordekaiser's, you know, best strength is in this early game.
Huge damage coming out of Leopolia there. Early, a longsword in his inventory, but it's just, when it comes to versing such a arguably squishy Diana who hasn't been able to get a shield out, he's doing dumb damage.
Yeah, and we've just seen Challenge for Jade trying to get some gold back. He roamed into Sergeant Crone's jungle and has actually evened the lead from just before. So really nicely done by him too. Just getting all of that back as it starts to even out again here now. Nooblis still kind of getting some good trades here. Oh, unfortunately
Jade's
just
missing
missing that
well.
one. Yeah, both junglers in mid lane. Oh, Nooblis flashing forward. He threw the Qs. Was it too late on the E's? And he picks up first blood against Alpha Arcasia. Getting huge left rights and knocking that metal hunk of junk down. Exactly what I love to see from my set. What a good flash. I kind of doubted him there. He missed his E, but
we got a game on our hands.
let's go. If there was ever a chance, this is the one, you know. Jewpies are all off roles right now. Dream to Meme is the only one that's playing the role he's played most consistently, you know. Blade X not typically known to be an ADC main. Real Polio a top. Challenger for Jade is usually mid ADC. If it's gonna happen, this is gonna be the game.
They may have bit off more than they could chew with the hot swaps, you're right. Why? They're swapping it around, we don't know. We'll probably never know. Maybe we can get an exclusive interview next time he's on the desk.
I have to assume it's just some troll action, right? Where Jewpies are known for, you know, when they feel like they get these games where it's just going to be, you know, a bit of a laugh, just something they've got to go through to get some numbers on the board, they will just, you know, resort to some trolling like this. We've seen them do the 5 teleport strat. Blade X is swinging in, trying to find Stairboy here, but Dream to Meme not finding the final stun. And Dream to Meme actually might go down here. Shortmasters just blocked everything, and Stairboy didn't get the Braum passive off. And he's just going to live. That's a really nice trade for Stairboy and Shortmaster. I know it looks kind of even, but
Chris Strider's on his way to town.
There's the roam. Oh, exactly what you deserve for leaving the Diana up here. An awesome flash ult. Didn't even throw the Q. He didn't need to use his dash in. He's just securing that one by flashing on top and putting a Dream to Meme to sleep. The ulti now coming out from Alpha Arcasia. Big death realm. Nooblis needs to be careful here. He doesn't realize Challenge for Jade's in his lane, but as soon as he comes out, he's just ulting away. Oh, Challenge for Jade nearly going down. Wing to Alpha Arcasia to barely survive the hotspot of the true damage of the Haymaker. Such well played for Nooblis. He nearly played that to perfection, but just not enough he could do. If he still had his flash up, he might have been able to flash away and live that one, but no such luck today.
Oh.
And with
Sergeant Crone.
we're seeing
another invade.
He's going in again. Yeah, Lee Sin is topside. I wonder if they caught him out on the pink ward. They've definitely seen him now, so she probably knows she's fine to get some of this CS. I don't think she knows the red buff is up.
Taking a look at this map. Ooh,
Oh, Alpha Arcadia dashing in and face checking the ultimate. Oh, Sergeant Crone just going to throw that little shell and get a nice little clap of damage. He's going to pick up the gold. Putting Challenge of Jade for sleep there, but flashing away. Going to try and heal again off that Q, and that's going to be just enough to keep him alive there. Man,
beautiful save. 1 for 1.
Yeah, absolutely. This game's looking really close. That kill actually went over to Chris Strider as well. It was the last tick of the Ignite after that E hit that saved him. I don't think Challenge for Jade had the W up to save Ruli and Polio there. Or maybe he was trolling. I'm not too sure what was going on. But that's exactly the kind of gold that needs to go over to Chris Strider to get this main ahead. The few times we have seen this Diana come through, we just haven't seen, you know, the performance that everyone is so terrified of. This is the game. If you're going to pull it out, this is the game. Come on, Chop Seekers.
Despite the fact that they are a kill up, they are actually down 200 gold. Was 300, maybe it's starting to squish. There we go. They are getting out farmed considerably in the mid lane.
But, oh, look, and another great ultimate from Chris Strider. Unfortunately, Nooblis not finding the E there, but he's got the W up. That is going to be enough to kill Ruli and Polo, and Challenge for Jade's going to get collapsed by Chris Strider. This is it. They're getting the early kills ahead, but the gold diff just isn't enough at this stage. They've only given away just about maybe 600 gold. Bot lane is roaming up, so Chris Strider needs to be wary here.
This might be it.
This could be the game. This could be the game.
Taking down the Titan.
Oh, Chris Strider dashing over, but not enough damage to be able to do. Sergeant Crone going too deep. So those are the mistakes that Jewpies is going to punish you for. If you have to stop. Oh, and a nice flash E from Alpha Arcadia. Chris Strider dashing out. Oh no, Alpha Arcadia blew the ult. Oh, sorry. I dreamed a meme and Chris Strider wasn't able to finish it off.
Oh no.
Challenging for Jade, hitting the Q. Short Master's just going to juke it out. And Dream to Meme is here now too. He's going to clutch on the assist. Man, it's all happening. And now Ruli and Polio and Blade X just whacking down this tower, getting all the plates they can in this early game. And just like that, you know, there was a little bit ahead. Oh, Blade X is swinging in. And he swung straight out. And he's found Sergeant Crone in the jungle now too. He's putting everyone to sleep here. Oh, his E doesn't quite connect. And he's just not going to find the gold. No, come on. Job Seekers need to just slow down, get some vision, and just sit back for a minute. They can't let Jewpies snowball from this lead.
Yeah, it has actually been very much the real Liam Polio show that up until this point. He's just been pretty much dominating the presence there. Every time Chris Strider walks back into lane from one of his little adventures off to bot, he doesn't have much pressure. He doesn't have a lot of room to fight.
Yeah, that's such a shame. The gold was so close. I just want to shout out Aiden Routledge in the chat. We don't have many guys watching today, but he has just noted that I've just been on the lobby for most of this game, so thanks for letting us know. I've switched that over
dude,
now.
You're stuck.
Yeah, I've just swapped it over, so that should come back any second. But Nooblis taking another good fight against Alpha Arcadia. Both guys going to blow their shields and take a nice even trade there as well.
Alrighty, it's starting to look a little bit scary. It's not unsavable. They can bring it back. The
gold diff is only 1k, and Destiny, you know, we're much further down at this point, as have a lot of teams. So it's good to see that they've got some chance. An excellent flash coming out from Nooblis. You know, once again, ulting Challenge for Jade away and just being able to use his ultimate as a sweet escape tool. Really well played. We're just seeing Ruli and Polio get collapsed on there too. More gold going over to Chris Strider. He's starting to look really dangerous. I think he's going to pick up his Hex Belt. Big fights happening in the bot lane. Stairboy dropping all the abilities. The stuns are coming out. Ruli and Polio... Oh, sorry. Blade X is drops the comeuppance. Sergeant Crone just getting knocked out. The Q not finding a Dream to Meme who has the stopwatch. And they're going to take that trade. But Chris Strider's here now. The TP's coming out from Alpha Arcadia as well. He's got one. Can he pick up another?
It's a party in the bot lane.
Oh no, Blade X is flashed away. And he's going to... Sorry, Alpha Arcadia's going to find Steiner there as well. Really unfortunate. This is really starting to sneak away from job seekers here.
Yeah, the Nooblist that is absorbing so much pressure trying to keep the game alive. Challengevic, they're just... He wants it.
Oh, and he got it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
nicely
at what
done.
cost?
But at what cost? You did not want to see this set get ahead. If we just take a look to, I believe Set has mostly gone for the mathematical build, from what I can see here.
I'm liking it.
It is, yeah. He has gone for the mathematical build. He's, got the Gore Drinker. If we see him get those Lucidity boots, we can expect some big damage from Noobless later in this game, especially as he's scaling up now too. Mordekaiser really starts to fall off towards these later levels when everyone else starts to scale up. He has a pretty weak mid-game typically, so we might be able to see some big things coming from Noobless here.
Absolutely. And to Noobless' credit, he has had to take double armor runes in this scenario because the majority of the team is actually doing physical damage, but this is what's really holding him back as well here. He's got 70 armor to the 42 Ember. This is... It doesn't sound like a lot, but it could be a huge difference where he's almost winning this lane without the pressure of Challenger Jade being there.
Yeah, quite a shame. And Shelly going in, she's going to clutch that first tower for Jewpies Angels. So that gold comes further and further behind, and Noobless throwing out the W a bit too early there. I think he's caught himself out. He dodged the Q, and he's got it. He threw the ult down and is slaying Mordekaiser down. He's absolutely taking Alpha Arcadia to school here. You need to stay in the jungle, you silly boy. I'm excited. This is it. This is it. Jewpies still have the 2k gold lead, but it just doesn't mean that much at this stage in the game. William Polio coming in. He's got the Gore Drinker off. The W comes out to block the ultimate. Noobless needs to run away here. Oh, he's living. There's potential for him to still win this. I think we're going to see William Polio try and step up.
He doesn't want to gamble.
Neither of them want to buy of it. Yeah, that was an absolute 50-50, and neither of them wanting to take that risk out. But Sergeant Crone has shown up. The ball just not going to find him. She's not able to put him to sleep just yet. Going to try to take some jungle camps, but Alpha Arcadia is here to put it in William Polio's favour.
Everyone's starting to hot shuffle down to that dragon. It's the next big piece, and it's a big one to pick up as well. If Jewpies Angels do get this, it is Dragon Point. What do we have here? It is a Mountain Salt. This is going to be huge if they can pick this up. 4% extra damage reduction, or increase in armor, and magic resist, excuse me. That would just be such a help to Short Master and Noobless, who are really little bit, just need that little bit of a pick-me-up to keep them in there.
And once again, chat helping me out, I've got the wrong names playing this game. Thank you. Another shout out has to go out to Jameer sorting me out there. Sorry, I'll get you right back into the game, guys. You have to excuse me. It's my first stream today running this stuff. I'm all over the shop. I've had crashes. It's all going on. We'll get back into the game. Maybe the first team fight coming up here. Everyone's kind of hanging towards this dragon, and once again, Jewpies have the dragon advantage, but it looks like Job Seekers have the prio. They need to be careful of Lilia here, who can hit the big ultimate. Oh, a huge Leona stun coming out, but it's not going to be enough. Real Blade X are swinging in, taking everyone down there, and that's just going to be a clean sweep. Chris Strider popping the Zonyas, but it's not going to be enough. He wasn't able to find Alpha Arcadia there either, and that's going to be
delete. Just one after another.
So rough. That's going to be the third Drake going over the Job Seekers there. It's
You-
it's so tough, man. We were talking earlier, like we need to find the cracks, and for a second, it's like, yeah, man, job seekers have found the cracks. You know, the early game didn't go so well for Jewpies this time, but just after that, you realize, they're not playing in their roles. They'll probably never do this
yeah,
again. Like, it's so tough, man.
absolutely. Then it could be seeing something happen
Sergeant
potentially.
Crone is looking. He can put Challenger to Jade to sleep here if he needs it. Yeah, there it goes. He's going to get the Q in, but he's going to die for his trouble a bit too late on the sleep. But I think Nublis is going to find another kill here. Oh, Sergeant Crone actually picking that one up with her burn still ticking. Some
That's
nice.
not a bad place for it to go. Nublis is sitting quite comfy at the minute. He's halfway through his second item easily. Getting the Lilia on her feet is not a horrible thing. She just completed tier 2 boots at 18 minutes. I think that's what I just saw happen.
Yeah, well, that was the first, kill she'd picked up this game, and, after her hijinks in the early game, she wasn't really able to keep that lead going, so it's been a bit of a struggle there. But Nublis has gone for the Ninja Tabby. I forget what they're called now. I can just hover it. Plated steel caps. So he has picked up some more armor there. Maybe not the mathematical set we're looking for. He's still going to be able to put out heaps of damage. He is building into Sterax, so still someone we need to keep our eye on here. He can totally be a difference maker in some of these late game team fights if they allow him to get to that stage.
Absolutely. Taking a look at the heat map, if you just look at where everyone is right now, it sort of tells you why Jewpies are winning here. They're actually on the board. They're actually going for objectives, taking things. Where
Yeah, I just can't see enough red wards down on the map at the moment. It's like maybe 3 and they're all kind of scattered. It's just not giving enough information. And Sergeant Crone is farming his blue buff while they're taking objectives in the top lane. It's, yeah, looking real rough.
Indeed that. I mean, we can't exactly give much credit to Jewpies Angels either. It's looking very bleak. But a fight in the mid lane.
Yeah, Sergeant Crone being caught out. He's going to walk out there with his move speed. Challenge for Jade, popping the Zhonya's to not get stunned up by the Leona ultimate. Kicking Nublis away. But this fight's kind of looking good for job seekers. Alpha Arcadia flashing the wall. He actually killed Chris Strider and has lived there too. Nublis is putting up the biggest fight he can, but it's not going to be enough there either. Man, such a shame. Sergeant Crone going to get knocked up and put down there too. It's going to be another tower, potentially inhib after that ace. What a messy team fight.
That was just everywhere. Where to look, where to watch. We lower mid, upper mid, into the chicken pen. It was just an absolute mess there. The timing on the ultimates, the Leona ulting a golden Lee Sin.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I think they both probably pressed it at the same time, but obviously Sonya goes off instantly and Leona ult does not. Yeah, really unfortunate there.
It does seem to be that the patience out of Jewpies Angels when they do fight with their abilities seems to really pay off for them. We saw it in the previous game as well. You know, the aggression and the pace isn't always the best friend.
Or the Leona ultimate coming out and just slowing Challenger for Jade there. He's going to go down and get caught out.
Great catch.
After kind of greeting in that jungle for a bit too long, it seems. Shout out to some of the guys in the chat again, Jamia. Yeah, it was just weirded out that there weren't any DST players. Yeah, me too, man. I'm sorry, Russ. I'm so trash. This might be my last time doing this one, I reckon. Shout out to Frank Gardner. Chris Strider is doing it, PogChamp. You're right. He's finally got his Diana. He's finally popping off. If there was ever a time for him to get away with this one, this is it. They just got a bit more scaling to go. But yeah, I think you're right. This next dragon might be the one that decides it.
Challenger for Jade will be there in time. He's hustling over.
We just got to see them win this team fight. You know, Jewpies have just been splitting everyone up with the Lee Sin ult, the Mordecai's ult. And Sergeant Crone going in. He's put a few to sleep and popped his Zonyas early, but it's not going to be enough, I think. Challenge for Jade coming in a little bit late, and Akshan still waiting in the wings. He's actually going down there. He's been caught out. Stairboy been copying the Lee Sin kick, and it's not enough. Sergeant
and the
Crone.
minions are making plays of their own on the base. They're knocking on the turrets.
Yeah, they've traded
the sandcastle down.
Traded 3 for 1 there. It's just not quite what they want to be seeing. Sorry guys, just realised we had 45 FPS. Just fix that up for you there. And another Drake going over to Jewpies Angels, giving them the soul. They've got that extra shield from the mountain now. They're heading towards Baron. I think this is going to be the end of this game.
Yeah, I mean, where you can't pick a specific point where it kind of fell apart. It just slowly, at the seams, just little mistakes coming out of JSA. They started so well, and it's just really come apart.
Yeah,
It's
Chris
such a
Strider
shame.
and Nublis were just finding like all the gold. Oh, and Sergeant Crone just copying every one of those shells from William Polio. Put him to sleep. He's looking for another one too. He is 9-3. Oh, half health chunking. Chris Strider's gone in for the big ultimate on 3 and is going to pay for his life. A bit of an int there, but they have to try something. They've got 2 people on the Baron here. Stairboy steps up to try and clear it, but he's going to pay for it too. And Shortmaster going to get caught out as well. The comeuppance coming out from Blade XR, but still haven't seen any revives yet this game.
Yes, unfortunately, in order to revive people, they do have to die first, and there's just not enough kills coming out. It feels disjointed, these fights coming out of JSA, that not everyone's there at the same time. We're not... Noobless.
Yeah, he's looking. He can definitely do this here. He's got the big W up, but he's been stunned right at the end. Huge chunk on Blade XR, but he's got nothing left in his kit after that one. It's just not enough. The rest of the team's getting here a little bit late. Sergeant Crone nearly going down there again. And that's Blade XR being put to sleep too. Chris Strider flashing, dashing, getting that kill there on Blade XR as well.
Punishing the overextend. Is it enough? Probably not, but it does keep them alive for a little bit longer.
Oh, really, Polio, you have to stop. Kane Bradshaw absolutely going nuts here. And Alpha Arcasia's pushing into the base. He's looking for the fight with Stairboy in between the 2 towers. And looks like this game is ready to end any moment now.
He's literally gunning down these poor summoners. Excellent CC chain.
Yeah, it looks like Jewpies Angels are hurrying over to this GG press start event. They're trading a few kills here right in front of the turrets. A bit of a fiesta, but they have actually successfully traded 2 for 2. Nublis has no gold up. Brilliant Polio is looking. He's doing so much damage right now. You can't face check the Graves. You can't get in close range like that. And Sergeant Crone getting 3-shot almost there too. So much damage coming out from William Polio.
You have to respect it. The Eclipse, the Lord Dominix, the Collector, a BFS.
Man, it's so rough here. Like, William Polio is doing so much damage. And looking back, I guess that's where the game went wrong. Maybe Chris Strider just roaming too much and allowing William Polio to do whatever he wants on this Graves. And currently he's 13-3. He's going to be absolutely dominating the damage charts at the end of this game too, I can assure you. They're just babysitting the cannon minions here while the cannon minions end the game.
Ultimates up.
William Polio can't go too far away from these turrets. He still needs to give them the Baron buff. He's been stunned up. They're trying to collapse on him, but he just isn't dying. He's dodged the set damage there too, but he's finally going to go down. Dream to Meme getting put to sleep and going to get caught out by the Jin ultimate. Blade XR running for his life. He's going to swing out of there. Nublis still on the chase. Probably not a fight he wants this late in the game. He's building up that grit, and that W's not coming off for him. Oh, but he's hitting the big true damage W. Not enough damage to finish it. He's still looking. Chris Strider dashing in. Oh, he killed them both. Blade XR lived. He killed them both. Oh no, it's just not what you like
Uh,
to see.
it's it looked like Challenger for Jay was literally trying to get him killed, trying to get another death on the board for Blade, but he said, "You know what? I can handle that.
He
Just
can
bring him
handle that.
over."
Look at him now. He was legit 1 HP a second ago and he's full HP again now. He's just doing so much work. This action is nuts. The ultimate coming out from Alpha Arcade is chasing Shortmaster
Ah,
down. Gonna flash on top of him. They're doing a
thanks
little
to
X-Peke
support.
dance. Oh, the stun coming out. He's gonna live. He's healing in the fountain. And looks like he's gonna start autoing that base. Looks like this was the end of the game. It was a really good showing
Oh
from Job
my.
Seekers. It's a fiesta at the end, but that's going to be another dub on the board for Jewpies Angels.
Great game. That was
Another
fun to
great
watch.
game. Yeah, all these Jewpies games are always so good to watch because, like I said earlier, it's the top of the league, right? These are just the best of the best in our tournament, and they're always putting on a good show for us.
We are, casters, we are supposed to remain impartial, but you can't help but gun for the underdog. It makes for such an exciting game, but they came so close to actually bringing that home.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I want to start with the SVP for this game on the side of job seekers. Who are you thinking for
Absolutely.
this one?
Mate, you can't. You
I
can't.
just want you to
Chris
say it.
Strider could probably put in. Oh, there it is. There it is. It is the top lane day.
Yeah,
Noobless
I was
as
just waiting for you to say it
usual.
first, so it doesn't sound like my bias. Absolutely, Noobless this game was unstoppable. That set was just doing so much work. I hate to talk a bit of trash, but Alpha Acacia kind of got dumpstered in the top lane. Noobless was just doing so much. He was winning fights solo, like solo bolo each time. Exactly what you like to see from your set, but unfortunately might have got let down a bit by the jungle pressure. You know, Sergeant Crone falling behind a bit, and Chris Strider not being able to, keep up his lead. But that is gonna be that SVP for Noobless here.
Most
And
certainly.
this is another one I'm really excited about, because no words needed. Open up the damage graph. You were on the stream. It's the first time I'm looking at this one. 36k damage from William Polio. That Graves is nuts. He did so
It.
much. We
Uh,
just saw him time after time. He was like, people were just trying to get onto him. They were all kind of like melee champish, so they kind of had to get into his face to kill them. But he's just holding those autos, and as soon as they're there, nah, there's 5 shells in your face, bruss. You're
that
not
was
dealing with that
feral.
one.
5 shot, two shells and a fatty ultimate. He doesn't need to reload if you're dead by the second shot. Like he's half healthing the main tank. It was half healthing short master. It one combination with a full tank build. It's
Yeah, man, we
hot
saw him
tamales.
just put Sergeant Crone down a few times too. He was truly suffering in that game, and he was nah. I'll let me do you this honor and giving him that battle death probably 8 times, I would assume. Yeah, really and Polio having a really sick game here, and maybe showing off some mid prowess. We know he can flex his lanes a little bit, so really good to see
Maybe
him
it
popping off in
wasn't
the
so
mid.
troll after all. Oh
Alright, well,
dear.
that's us here for the day. That's all our games done. I do just want to swap over to our tournament TV. We can have a quick look at the leaderboards after all of that. We can see it. I don't think it's quite updated for us just yet, but Jewpies have got 2 wins extra on the board today, which means they are going to sneak back up to first place, and Youngblood's probably going to get knocked down to second, as well as Job Seekers Alliance are going to keep their third place spot, I believe. They might have played a couple extra games than Destiny, but at this stage they still have the same amount of wins, so those teams are going to be tied for third place with Corona Spaceship, who I believe is the underdog for this season. We're going to have some huge games coming up in the next few weeks. It's just, we're getting so close to finals time. I believe, come September, we'll be ready to rock and roll, and we're going to put on some awesome finals for you guys. So stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. Don't forget that we have our press start event on tonight. we're going to be down at the Tracy Village Club playing some Super Smash Bros, playing some Wild Rift. Go see David Moore. He'll shout you a beer, and we're going to go have a great time. So I hope to see all of you there.
Go, get out there, participate. You're allowed to. Go
For
socialize.
do it
One
for Cam,
time.
dude. He's locked up. He's locked up in his house. He wants to come hang, but we got to do it for him. So I hope to see you all there. Big shout out to Cam. Thanks for casting with us today. Thank you to all the viewers for sticking with us through all this pretty shifty casting we've been doing. The stream
Shout out to
hasn't been.
yourself for making a solid effort.
Yeah, look, I gave it a crack. It might be the last time, but we've done what we've done. That's going to be all for today. I'll leave you with the scoreboard and we'll ride this one out. Hope to see you guys all this Thursday. Bye-bye.
Bye.